Okay, my name is Kareli. I'm the navigator, trainer, and coach in Community Action Partnership here in Madera County. I've been doing this for about 3 years. I started right when the program started. So,
Nice, great. All right, so let's talk about the navigator part of it, because we know you do all of them, but let's talk about you being a navigator. How has it been for you from the very start to how it runs now? How's it been?
well, from the beginning, we got to make the program our own. So we really started with the clean slate of, coming up with our own procedures. And we really got the opportunity to make the program fit the needs of the resource parents here in our community, which I think has been very helpful. So even just the paperwork that we do with them is very minimal. And we try to make it as easy as we could for them, just so that they didn't have to do this one extra thing on top of all the other things they're already doing with DSS. And also we got to start working with DSS. I started going over there a few times a week and building that relationship from the beginning. So it's definitely just a lot of growing and seeing the program change and a lot of implementation of new things.
Yeah. Anything, um, tell me one or two things that how it's grown. You said it's grown and changed. What's a few things that have changed over time?
In the navigating portion, I think the biggest thing that has changed is the way we did the listing of providers. At the beginning, we were just creating the listings and giving them to the resource parents. And as we've learned from other counties and other techniques, we started doing the enhanced referrals, where we call the providers before we give the list to the resource parents. So we really ask, do you have space for the children? We tell them a little bit of the needs of the children, and then we're able to give the resource parents a shorter list of providers they can contact that already have space, that already have a little bit of knowledge of what the child's needs are, and then they get to make the decision from there.
Nice.
The way that we meet with them is also really flexible. We can meet with the resource parent in person. We've met with them or just spoken to them over the phone or done everything through mail, really whatever fits their needs.
Wow, nice. So let's talk a little bit about you and the support you get. I know that you attend the monthly navigator calls, and then there's also community of practice or any other the meetings you attend. What have you gotten anything from those, and how does it feel to attend?
Yeah, the community of practices have been great for, I would say, well, for myself, and I'm sure other navigators relate. We don't have anyone else that does what we do here in our agency. So we're kind of all on our own, wondering if we're doing what we're supposed to. And then we get on these meetings and we hear that we're all working through the same things or even struggling through the same things. So it's really validating to just know that we're on the same page, that we're just pretty much working for the same mission, to help the resource parents, to help the foster children. So I've learned a lot in, all of them. So it's really nice to listen in. We can come with questions, we can come to listen. So it's really just a space for us to learn from each other.
Great. Any stories or a way that you've seen your navigation or the navigator role helping parents and or providers?
I think the navigation portion of the program has been just a really good stress reliever for the resource parents, if anything. Sometimes I get on the phone with them and they're a little confused as to who I am, why I'm calling, what's going on. So we just go through the process of explaining, I'll help you with the program, I'll help you find a provider. And by the end of the conversation, I get a lot of like, oh, thank you, things make sense now, I understand what I'm doing. So I think it helps a lot for those resource parents who are new, who have never done this before, who have never gone through a subsidized childcare program, or who have never used a childcare provider at all. Some of them don't have kids of their own, so they're, put on the spot to do this, especially when it's relatives. So it's a lot of learning, and I think everything just comes together for them to what the program is and what we're here for. And they sound better throughout at the end of the conversation.
Yeah, nice to have that support. Yes. Any challenges that you've had and how have you addressed them?
Well, it being a new program, I think there's been challenges in the way that we implemented things, in the way of working with other, not that it's difficult to work with other agencies, but learning how to work with them. What does the communication look like? How does it look like with DSS? How do we get, how do we stay involved with them, even though they do something so different, but they're so important to our position. So I think it's all been in the communication and just learning how to navigate even just relationships with other people that um, support us in the role that we do.
Great. Anything else you want to say about being a navigator or want folks to hear?
It's been just a really good experience to meet all these other navigators and to kind of go through the journey. On the calls, we see people who we all started at the same time or went to the trainings together. So it's really nice to just have this cohort of people that we're all learning and doing. And like I say the most, we're all on the same mission. So it's really nice to be part of this community.